What's up everybody, it's Dunham, and what you've just seen is the Meteorite Easter egg in Hangar 21 in Battlefield 4, which has been in the game since about 2015, since this map was even released on CTE before the official final stun release. And as you can see here on the official Battlefield Twitter, 2015 August 12th, the pod in BF4 final stand is sort of like a meteorite, which is a big clue that there's a meteorite Easter egg, which it looks as though most people pretty much ignored this clue, so to speak. Notice how the pod is launched from a specific location as well on this GIF file. However, I was looking for this meteorite Easter egg weeks before I'd ever seen this tweet, only a few weeks ago today. It was brought to my attention by somebody on Twitter posting a comment on my video about the meteorite, saying you might be onto something, who gave me a link to this tweet, and I can honestly say I've never seen it before. So as I've been doing for the last few weeks, I've been sort of looking through the game files to confirm the existence of any Easter eggs, and I came across the meteorite texture files and the effects files, which are built up of something called emitters. Now the emitters are physically the effects, and the effects is like an actual bundle of emitters, which is all rolled into one to make a big effect, so to speak. And this is well hidden inside one of the visual effects layers inside the maps files. On top of this, there's this odd channel that we know of on YouTube called Phase. It's now Phase 5 Complete, but the name changes. And these videos have been sort of hinting towards Easter eggs that have not been solved. And on this video, it goes on about numbers 349. I won't play the whole video, but it goes on about 349. The camera numbers 349 on there, and then we get this video here, which is it's basically the radar tower on Hangar 21 looking in this direction, and in the distance we've got this little light shining off the rock here. Now if you was to zoom in, and I mean really zoom in closely, that actually starts flashing and emitting Morse code, and on the video, which translates to you have already seen the future. However, I can't get that Morse code to trigger in game, so I don't know whether it's fake or real, but what I can confirm that is in the game files, along with the flashing light which is used for the Morse code on the satellite dish on the top of the mountain, which gives away a clue to the Phantom Room password. Well, next to that, and including amongst that in the same bundle and chunk, is another visual light Morse code, which has not been found or documented as far as I know, which I believe is this shown in the video. So this video has some sort of legitimacy, but it's not confirmed. The 349, so what's the 349? Well, I figured that the 349 was something to do with the Alien Trio dog tag, because when you look at the Trio dog tag in Battlelog and look at the actual link to the actual texture of it, it's called Advanced 349. And then in other clues on this channel, there's been things like Dark Operatives and some other various clues. So that got me thinking if it was actually a legitimate clue to there being the meteorite, which started my search through the game files initially. And what you've just seen a minute ago is the actual meteorite Easter egg, and I slowed it down and put the brightness up so it's a bit more visible, should I say, on the video. But when you're in game and you actually see the meteorite, you can't really miss it. It's pretty clear to see. But to trigger it, you need to be wearing the dice camo, the dark dice, the black dice camo, which you unlock from the Megalodon on Parasol Storm. You also need the Hangar 21 dog tag, and also the Alien Trio dog tag. Now, I haven't been able to trigger it at all unless I've got those three things on my character. So I believe that you need those three things to get the meteorite to trigger. Now, There is another effect on Hangar 21 which I'm going to put on screen, which is well, it could be called a satellite or a shooting star, and there's actually two of them on the map. One goes from west to east behind the mountain, and it goes very fast and it's small, hard to see, easily mistaken for snow particles. But the other one goes from south to north, off to the right of the hangar, and as you can see on this video that I've put on the screen just now, that is the shooting star. So be sure not to confuse the shooting star with the meteorite. So you're thinking, well, how do I find the meteorite? Well, it's kind of worked out kind of simple. What I did was take a full-size original minimap game file of Hangar 21. So to every pixel, this is 2048 pixels, and everything that's in between is somewhat accurate to the pixel of this map. It's a little bit different because I haven't quite got it totally accurate, but so far it's pretty accurate. And what I did was add the locations of things like the attack helicopter, the rail guns, the US headquarters, the launchers, and also the launchers on that building, which I've just removed for this purpose because that's going to be important in a moment. And I basically put a cross on the minimap and deciphered which is X plus and minus and which is Z plus and minus, etc. And then put the actual locations, which is called the transform, which is in the EBX, they're called EBX files of the game, which holds all the information and the locations of static objects. And I basically put those onto the map, and then I could somewhat calculate where and how we should see this meteorite. So this rooftop on top of the flag with the two launchers, the trigger point is basically in this little square here, and as long as you're sort of in around there, or you go into that area and then leave it, within 2 minutes you'll see the meteorite. So you just basically need somebody to be there, but they do have to have what I believe to be the dark dice camo, the two dog tags, which is Alien Trio and the Hangar 21 dog tag. But what I was able to do is get the actual effect and pull it apart, and I was able to get the actual location and everything else that's bundled in with the FX file. So the meteorite starts in the east, like you've seen on the video. It starts about here, and then just after it starts to emit the trail, which is basically it's basically on this one, it's just like a ball of fire, a tiny ball of fire, like a spark. But when we get to the trail 2 is like 3 burning embers that fall apart from the actual meteorite before it hits the top of the mountain at this location. So, coming to think of it, 349, I'm thinking that this was a clue, that the 3 was the 3 burning embers, 4 being battlefield 4, and 9 is still a mystery. But what I can tell you is that somewhere in this region, I've managed to nail it down to this area here. So we've got the satellite dish on the top of the mountain just about here, but just out of bounds, and I mean it's just out of bounds, you can run to this and run back just in time if you're lucky and you don't get stuck on the hill. The meteor lands, and once it's landed you will hear what's the file name called? It is, I think it's the wrong size. Anyway, it emits a sound which is called explosion ambient explosion ambient .wav. Anyway, you can find it in the game files if you know how to, and you can play it back. It basically just sounds like a grenade. But what's important is that a small rock 03 appears, which is identical to the black rock that is next to the satellite dish already. That's always there. And it also spawns EM Incend, which is the effect emitter for the incendiary grenade, and also the EM Welding Sparks, which is sort of sparks flying off of it like a broken electrical box. So yeah, there's a little bit more to it than there just being an effect of something flying through the sky, emitting a trail, and then landing with a bit of a bang. What's even more concerning is that a lot of work has gone into this, and it could potentially have a lot more something to do with it, which would equal something to do with the number 9, providing that the clues on that channel are actually legitimate. They could be fake, we don't know. So we need somebody to basically stand on the roof down at the flag here to trigger the emitter for the meteorite, and then look out to where it lands and run up to it and see what you find. So yeah, that's basically it. So just on the location here is where you can find the what's called the rock light. It's actually in the files as an em_rock_light01, and that is not the actual light emitter for the floodlights that are shining on the rock here. It's a light that actually pops up once it's triggered by something else, and I believe that the meteorite has to land and you have to do something, which then leads us to this Morse code. But we already know what the Morse code says, again, with a pinch of salt. It says you have already seen our future, providing that it's legitimate. So what does this mean? I have no idea, but it's starting to look as though there is some sort of legitimate clues that Battlefield 6 potentially could potentially even have Hangar 21 in it. For example, I'm starting to have this strange feeling that Hangar 21 will actually feature as a map in Battlefield 6, and it will have something to do with the story of Final Stand. Because let's face it, the Titan model inside the hangar is pretty epic, and I think to make a model of something that epic to not do anything is a bit of a shame. And I believe that there was some talk years ago about there being potentially the idea for Levolution on this map, that the Titan would have originally come out of the hangar doors and hovered and then gone back into place. And there is evidence to suggest that in the game files. If it was something that was never finished or whatever, then fair enough. But I believe potentially that Hangar 21 could be the setting of Battlefield 6 because of all these clues, and it fits in with the Phantom elevator, the 2142 sort of style thing set in 2042. So we'll see what happens and see what sort of other clues we get, and most importantly, I hope you've enjoyed to finally see this meteorite. You're more than welcome to go and check it out for yourself in game. And it's really important that we find out where and what this meteorite finally does and what it is. So based off of that, I hope you have a good day, and I'll catch you later.